So we're boiling today, mid to late March, last week of March I think. And I think it's interesting that you can't see any steam coming out the top even though we have been boiling for 2.5 hours. Being abnormally late in the season is also abnormally warm for us to be boiling. But we take a look inside. Now we are also storing all of our sap inside because out here it would go bad in the hot sun, so we keep that inside in the shade. Now this is our evaporator pan, and the first place the sap actually starts is up there, the elevated tank. Are you pumping into the tank right now?
Yep.
Oh.
Full.
Yeah.
See in the corner, the air bubbles?
Yeah, so we're pumping from this tank here. These totes each hold about 300 gallons.
Tanks are inside the keep.
I said that already.
Oh.
Yep. Very important. So, from that tank, we're going to go through this black horizontal hose into the very top of this pan. The pan is on top of the steam away, this top section with a little window there. I'll show you in a second, but I can actually go up a ladder over here. So we're coming in, whoop, right above my head into that corner there. I gotta go up the ladder here. Okay, so we're going in there. We've got one float box here. You hear a lot about float boxes on the evaporator. And this pan is the first stop where the sap gets preheated. And it's a little bit of foam up top, but not enough for me to care. And that little section there is a vent where the steam, excess steam is coming up from the steam away below. And we've got, I don't know if you can see, there's some copper pipes in this pan here. And those copper pipes are channeling the steam from, in the steam away from the pan underneath. And the steam goes through those copper pipes. It starts at that end as well. And they go up this way. The pipes are slightly tilted up to come to this end. And now let me go down and I'll show you around the other side. Alright. So we said that they were starting over at this end, going slightly slanted upwards to the other end here. And the hot water from the steam away is actually running on the floor at the moment. When we need some wash water, we'll use that pure hot distilled water. That's a byproduct. And that's basically how the top pan works, to recycle heat from the flue pan underneath it and be as efficient as possible. Now we've got this silver pipe here comes from a fan up above, and it pumps air into that pan as well to give it aeration and the agitation that helps it boil faster than stagnant water would. And now we'll look in the little window here. Oh, I probably should have washed the window first, huh? Now you can see that is the sap boiling in the pan underneath. A little bit of foam in there. Again, not too much. And up above, we've got the excess steam condensing in the hot water in these trays, and that'll run off at the other end. And so the sap enters. Oh, again on the other side. Jeez. The sap enters. Excuse me. Enters the bottom pan over here in this float box. Now, we've got a float valve in here. This is basically a box of air, and it floats. And when it floats up, it pushes this lever up. I don't know if you can see it there. When it pushes this lever up, it will close. Oh, thank you. It will close this valve in here that's letting the sap in so that we don't overflow the pan. And when the level in the pan goes too low, it'll sink, opening that valve there and letting sap flood in. So it's a semi-automatic process as long as the float is where it needs to be. So we're going to go into the flue pan now, which is the largest pan where the sap spends its most time. And there's actually a divider in the flue pan that we can't see right now. So it zigzags. We go from that back corner, across this way, along the back, and then we come around an elbow on this side and travel this direction on the front. We get to another float box here. Same thing, one box. I think this one's a little bit smaller because we're going into a smaller pan. And we're going to go around this elbow here into our two syrup pans. Now the syrup pans are exactly the same, and we can see the divider in here. Well, if it weren't for the steam. You see that divider there? So in the two pans, we're going to go back that way and come this way, around this bend here, back that way, and finally end in this corner where we've got a thermometer here. It may or may not be accurate, apparently. And then this is the final spot where we will draw off finished syrup. Now that is the pathway of the sap, all the way from the elevated tank over there through to the final corner where later we'll be drawing off some syrup today.